and welcome to the weekly forecast. My name's Vicki Haspels, the Conscious Mystic, and every week I choose a selection of cards and interpret the meaning of those cards and the energy around them for the guidance for the week. And as you can see on the little ticker there, this is for week commencing February 21st, 2022. And so, that, of course, that is tomorrow if you're in Australia. And so each week I choose 6 cards, and it's a particular type of thread that creates a little narrative about how the week is going to look. And the interpretation and the guidance that goes with it should resonate or should give you some sort of insight into how you can work with it, or give you some inspiration or uplift. So I'm using my deck, what's it called? The Mythic Tarot. Whoops. I am choosing 6 cards. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I don't know what they are. It's a surprise for me too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is the fun part. Well, I count the cards out. Alrighty. So let's begin. So this is again, as I said, for week commencing February 21st, 2022, we are looking at the guidance for the week, where we are headed, how we are feeling, and what to expect and what sort of energies around us. Let's begin. The first card is us, who we are, where we are, and how we are going to approach this week, and like how we're going to be sort of be in this week or act in this week. And this is the energy that we know. So we have the Judgment card here. I think I mentioned in my previous little show a couple of minutes ago is that the Judgment card for me is the Marie Kondo of the deck. So this week we are consciously clearing out the things and recognizing the things that we want to keep in our lives and the things that we want to remove. We are, should I or shouldn't I? We can recognize what supports us, what works with us, and what we're ready to not sacrifice, but just surrender. We don't need this anymore. And the Judgment card suggests that it's a very objective way of clearing our energy. It's just that we've been through a process. We are at a point where we recognize that in order to move forward, it's okay to let these things go. We don't have to wrestle with ourselves or our conscious with, you know what? I'm actually done with that and ready to let that go. The Judgment card is the second to last card in the Major Arcana, which suggests that we are heading into a new cycle. I would say that by March, that cycle will commence, even by the end of this week. So now the next card we're going to look at is the energy of our soul, our guidance. And so it's like the subconscious or the unseen. It's the little things that happen around us, the feelings, the intuitions we have that sometimes don't have any context. And so we have the Tower card here. So it's interesting that we've got the Judgment, which is clearing out, and the Tower card, which is the subconscious. So pretty much it'll feel like life is out of control. And so the things that don't serve us, we don't even have to pick and choose. This Tower card is actually going to say, you know what, it's that, and we're going to react in a way that says that we're not even going to worry about it. We're going to say, you know what, I don't have the energy for this anymore. You can go. And the Tower card introduces those situations to us, and it's not pleasant. It's not always pleasant, but it gives us the opportunity to say, you know what, this isn't mine anymore. I'm just going to let that go. The Tower washes away that which has no foundation, and the only things that are left are the things that support you, the things that have grounding and that are worth putting energy into. So as I said, it's not pleasant, but the universe is actually showing us and removing those things. Anyway, the Judgment card is, we're going to say, oh well, I didn't care about that anymore anyway. So we're not going to lose any sleep over it. Okay, so the next card is like it's the challenges, or the part of us that says, oh, so sometimes it can represent our fear, or the part of us that is learning and growing. So this is the card we have here. So the fear or the challenge that's going to pop up is that even though these 2 cards are cut and dried about letting go of the past, the Six of Cups is actually a sort of a connection to the past. It's like, oh, it's like looking at old photographs and thinking, oh, that was such good times. And you know what? These guys, the Judgment and the Tower card, are going to come in and say, you know what? Were they good times? Were they? And you're going to go, nah. So that bit of reminiscing and sort of melancholy that comes with it, you're going to go, nah. So expect all of those feels to be there, but as I said, it's a very objective cutting off time, so you won't have too much sentimentality. Just a little bit will pop up every once in a while, and you might even feel a bit bad because you don't feel so guilty about letting those things go. And that's the Six of Cups. Is just going to help you connect with an emotion that get at least a little bit of emotion in there. You go, nah, I don't need that anymore. Off you go. Alrighty. So, what will our reaction be? What are we going to do? How will we behave towards this and respond towards it? Well, it's interesting. We have the World card, which is actually the last card in the Major Arcana. That straight up says that we're heading straight into next cycle. So we are tying everything up. There is basically everything must go. So what doesn't suit, what doesn't support, is no longer in our field of vision, and we're very comfortable about letting it all go because that next part of us, I keep getting next Monday, the 28th of February, seems to be like that next cycle. So whatever's happening this week is definitely winding up a lot of stuff, and there's no sentiment involved. If there was, we're just going to brush it off. It's not even a thing. So where does this leave us in our future? So where are we going to land? What does this new cycle look like? And we have the Two of Swords here. And again, not always a very pleasant card, but it is a card of uh, pretty much listening to our own counsel. So this card suggests to me, and looking at these other cards here, is that the energy that's been around us that we are letting go and deciding not to have in our lives anymore have actually been interfering in our own decision making process. So we are letting go and removing or recognizing and chopping out of our lives those things that are creating a noise or interfering in our thinking and our thought processes and our logical processes. It's going to enable us to make decisions. I really think it's been interfering in our decision making process. So clarity of the mind is something that's going to come forward now. But that clarity comes at a price in that it requires us again to cut things off or out in order, and we will actually fight for ourselves with that. Again, there's no sentimentality, just a touch, and then we're going to decide, no, I don't need to do that. So pretty much we're standing up for ourselves, but it's not, we're not going to jump into standing up for ourselves. It's actually a building up. So it's that beginning of reclaiming our power, reclaiming our thoughts, and reclaiming our decision making process about how to move forward. So it will be a little bit slower. It's not just going to be like magic like that, but it is the start, and we will start to feel it. So, what does that mean for our soul? I'm looking at the card and thinking, really? Okay, so the next one is our soul journey, our soul path, our karmic contract. What does this all mean for us spiritually? Well, look at this one. Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords represents that part of us that makes up all the stories. So on a soul level, where we have had other situations or energy and interfering and disrupting our thought processes and our decision making process, we have taken that story and run off with it. And so spiritually, we are going to now bring that energy back to ourselves. Again, it's about clear thoughts. So we are going to connect with our it's like it's not about the feeling or motivation or anything like that at all. I want to get, it's what's been written. So it's like our actual akashic record or karmic contract. We are reconnecting with that, and we are going to stop the you know uh big embellishment or hyperbole that can happen sometimes when we get into that. It's like almost like a whole story is built around something that doesn't even exist. So all those stories are going to start being torn down and being recognized for what they are, which means anxiety lifts. So if any of you guys out there have been feeling a lot of anxiety, that's now going to reveal itself for what it is, the truth of what it is, and we are going to be able to let that, like, because we can see it for what it is, it means it's the end of that cycle. We can let that anxiety go, and we'll recognize it for what it is, and just it's not even about having a lesson from it. It's more about honoring who we are and not letting ourselves waste any more time or energy on things that don't exist. We now only base on what we like know about ourselves and the things that we want to give our energy to, rather than just like constantly worrying about everything and things that don't even belong to us. So, having said that, this week looks really like it started out really strong, and it's like we're reclaiming our power, we're reclaiming our thought process, we're reclaiming our path, but we're also lifting ourselves out of anxiety and stress. So, on a soul, I love it for the soul level, in that we are reconnecting to our soul and soul purpose and our soul sense. So, we're losing that big. Uh, Turning a mountain into a molehill and bringing it, um, what's it? Yeah, we're bringing everything back to that small little molehill and actually seeing it for what it is, rather than turning into something huge, which it isn't. And then we have to tear that down. So it's a great week for getting things done, clearing the mind, and just bringing that energy back into ourselves and making decisions for ourselves. It's a little bit selfish, which is good. It's a good selfish, because too much we have been giving our energy out, and now we're bringing it back because we need it for ourselves and our own direction. I personally am looking forward to that, to be honest, because a lot of my energy has been scattered, and now I'm looking forward to focusing my energy on the things that I want to do, to be a little bit selfish for myself. So that's the weekly forecast for week commencing February 21st, 2022. Next week, I will be on the road, so I might actually do this a little bit earlier or pre-record it, so that you get to see the beautiful surroundings. Because I'm going out back, kids. I'm going into the outback and on the road again, and travel and all those fun things. So thank you for joining me. Much love from me to you. See you next week. Mwah. Bye for now. See you guys next week, with love from me.